Steph Curry is widely regarded as the best shooter of all time, and his career stats certainly back this up. Curry leads the league all-time in three-pointers made and has many other accolades that underscore his incredible ability to shoot the basketball. While his regular season dominance and consistency of shooting splits is staggering, I'm here today to make the case that Steph Curry is an overrated clutch playoff performer. Some may argue that the statistics actually support the idea that Steph is one of, if not the most clutch playoff player in the league. His playoff averages are solid in comparison to his regular season stats, and he has put up big games in the playoffs. But if we dive deeper beyond shooting splits and clutch performance averages, and look at the context of his biggest playoff successes and failures, I would argue that Steph is usually not reliable in high-pressure situations, and actually has come up historically small in the most important moments, even in years his team won the title. I'm not intending to take away from Curry's many great performances in his playoffs career. I'm merely adding context to when and where these high-output games occurred. The data shows clear differences in Curry's play when there's low pressure versus when the game is on the line, or the fact that many of his good performances in closeout games were played with a 3-0 or 3-1 advantage. Again, reducing the amount of pressure Curry faces. In order to measure how clutch a player is, we need to define what clutch is. Player averages can be misleading when determining how clutch a player is. For me, what determines clutchness is how the player performs in the biggest moments. When the chips are down, adversity hits, and the game tightens up, who can respond and go get you a bucket, or make a play when the defense is the most locked in? For me, game-winning or go-ahead shots are the most difficult and pressure-packed looks a player can take. And the outcome of shots taken that can clinch a playoff game or series are the most important to look at when determining if a player is clutch. The clutch squared metric is created by inpredictable.com. Is a great representation of these high leverage shots. Clutch squared is an advanced metric that measures which shots have the highest impact on winning probability. These are the top 1% of highest leverage shots in basketball, the ones that can cause a team's probability of winning a game, series, or championship to take a huge swing. Game-winning or go-ahead shots are the most difficult and pressure-packed looks a player can take. And the outcome of shots taken that can clinch a playoff game or series are the most important to look at when determining if a player is clutch. In this video, we will look at Curry's numbers on game-winning, go-ahead shots at the end of games, and the discrepancies in Curry's stats in regular playoff games versus in-pressure elimination and closeout games to prove that Steph Curry is not reliable in the clutch. When taking a look at his playoff career numbers, many would be quick to call Steph an elite player in the clutch simply based off of his impressive averages in the playoffs. Steph has averaged 26.7 points per game, 6.2 assists per game, 5.4 rebounds per game, on 45% from the field, 40.7% from 3, and 89.3% from the free throw line, making him nearly a 50-40-90 player in the postseason. Among the 158 players who have played at least 4 games in the 2022 postseason, Steph Curry ranks 4th out of 158 and 4th quarter scored. He's averaged 7.6 in the final frame. Curry is also the 3rd highest scorer in the traditional clutch scored metric, defined as the game being within 5 points or less with under 5 minutes left to play in the 2022 playoffs. On the surface level, these stats might make you say, wow, Steph is actually elite in the clutch. But when you look deeper at both, they tell a different story about Steph's game and the biggest moments. Steph averages a whopping 50% field goal percentage and 42% three-point field goal percentage in the 4th quarter of the 2022 playoffs. But in clutch situations, his field goal percentage dips to 48% and his three-point percentage plummets to 30%. His clutch playoff scoring average being 3rd highest is mainly a result of him taking a higher volume of shots than everyone but Ja Morant. Let's dig deeper. So far in his career, Steph has come up remarkably small in the playoffs when called upon to make the most clutch shots of all, game-winning or go-ahead shots. Curry has gone 0 for 8 on go-ahead shots with less than 20 seconds left in his NBA playoff career in 132 postseason games. While these are generally some of the lowest percentage shots a player can take due to the high amount of pressure and defensive intensity, Steph not having a single playoff game winner in his mid-30s will be quite shocking to some. Everyone remembers Curry's lack of clutch DNA being exposed in a huge way in the 2016 finals, when he and the Warriors choked a 3-1 lead to lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Curry shot a horrendous 6 of 19 in Game 7, including 0 for 6 and a turnover in the final 4 minutes, while taking all of his team's shots with some truly horrible, low percentage shots. After a blistering start to the series for the Warriors, Curry shot 36% from the field and 35.7% from 3, and lost 3 games as the Warriors were the first team in finals history to blow a 3-1 lead. On top of this, he gave up the iconic finals clinching 3-point shot to Kyrie Irving. To be fair, he played pretty good defense on that play. While this was many people's first exposure to witnessing Steph melt down in the clutch, this was far from the first time it had occurred. In his playoff debut, Steph caught many people's attention in leading the Warriors past the Denver Nuggets, as the Nuggets won 57 games and were heavily favored. Many have even dubbed this the series as the series Steph became Chef Curry. Steph had several great games in this series, and I'm not taking anything away from that. But while many point to this series as the moment Steph stepped onto the national stage as a bona fide NBA star, in this series, his first ever, he established what would unfortunately become a career-long trend of playing great early in the series and regressing terribly in closeout games. After playing well and going up 3-1, Curry had a terrible Game 5 in his first closeout game of his career. He scored 15 points on 7 of 19, 1 for 6 from 3, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 turnovers. Game 6, he shot a much better percentage, 6 of 14, 4 of 8 from 3, but once again, all his production came in the first 3 quarters, and his 7 turnovers, including 4 in the 4th, almost cost them the game as they squeaked by 92-88. Because the Warriors won the series, these numbers in the closeout games are largely forgotten, but they were foreshadowing of things to come. In the next series, against the San Antonio Spurs, Curry had a monster Game 1, scoring 44 points, going 6 of 14 from 3, 2 from 2 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 11 assists. However, this game quickly became a typical Curry crunch time disaster in the last 6 minutes of the 4th. With the Warriors up 16 with 4 minutes to go, a truly awful Butterfinger turnover on a simple pass that led to a layup on the other end and cut the lead to 8. He also took extremely low IQ shots, including a block 3 that he wasn't even close to getting off, and a near air ball on another 3 that he took while actually up by 1 with 48 seconds left. When the Warriors needed to steal a game on the road, they got it. But once again, no thanks to Curry. He shot a paltry 7 of 20 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, and 6 of 9 from the free throw line, with 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 2 turnovers. If not for Klay Thompson absolutely carrying with 34 points, 14 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, and a block, going 8 of 9 from 3, they would have lost this game as well. This was the most pressure-packed game of the series so far. A chance to get a 2-1 lead on the defending champs. Steph had a chance to rise up and make up for his poor performances in Games 1 and in Game 2. He didn't. He shot 5 of 17 from the field, 3 of 9 from 3 for 16 points. He did have 8 assists and 2 rebounds, but also 3 turnovers. Once again, Steph is only playing well when there is little pressure. In a pivotal swing game, he absolutely folded and allowed the Spurs to regain home court advantage. To be fair, Steph played better in Game 4, which was a game in which there was a significant amount of pressure. 7 of 15 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, and 22 points. However, in another pressure-packed swing game in Game 5, Steph shot an abysmal 4 of 14, going 1 for 7 from 3, 9 points, 8 assists, and 4 turnovers. Finally, in Game 6 with their season on the line, Steph shot 10 of 25, 2 of 8 from 3, and went 1 of 5 in the 4th quarter, 0 of 2 from 3, and the Warriors were on the way to Cancun. There are other moments, series, and games in Curry's career where he sold out hard in the clutch, but I felt this one really captured my overall sentiment on Curry in the clutch, especially Game 1. It's not like he's a bum. He had 44 points and 11 assists in Game 1. He really does put up elite averages. But those are tilted towards the first half of games and the beginning of competitive series. The gaudy box score numbers and eye-pop and macro shooting averages cover up the fact that Steph sells in the fourth when the pressure is on. Remember that clutch squared metric we talked about earlier that tracks the 1% of possessions in games that have the most impact on winning or losing? Steph is 11 of 38 from the field and 3 of 15 from 3 on clutch squared attempts in the playoffs, including brick three-pointers at the end of the 2016 finals and 2019 finals that ensured the Warriors would lose the title. If that doesn't show you that Steph isn't clutch in the biggest moments, I don't know what will. Curry was so bad in the clutch during 2016 finals that it was actually necessary for a team that had an NBA record 73 wins in the regular season to add perennial MVP candidate Kevin Durant to the team. In the 2 years the Warriors won the championship with Durant, Curry only took 4 clutch squared shots in the playoffs. This is because they had Kevin Durant to blow most playoff matchups out of the water and hide Curry's lack of clutch DNA and over-reliance on threes at the end of the few closeout games they played. In my opinion, the fact that the winningest regular season team of all time had to add Kevin Durant to win the title, coupled with Curry's horrible clutch squared numbers, noted collapses late in close playoff games, and multiple finals choke jobs when it mattered most, make Curry overrated and unreliable in the clutch. Curry has shot 2 of 4 so far this year in the clutch squared attempts in the playoffs, and just had a great Game 4, in which he closed out the Celtics with a great fourth quarter performance. So he does have potential to shift the narrative. However, I believe that these are exceptions and not the rule, as we have seen him time and time again fold when it matters most. What do you think? Is Steph Curry a crunch time choker who sells out his team when they need him the most? Or do the numbers put up during the rest of the game make up for it? Let me know in the comments below.